Hi, Rich Tehrani here in the TMC newsroom. We're at Interop 2009. We're reporting from Las Vegas. Charles Thompson is with me from Network Instruments. How are you?
Rich, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. Could you tell us a little bit about your company? I've been to your office in lovely Minnesota in the summer.
Hopefully you were there in the summer.
Yes, and it was fantastic.
Excellent.
One of these days I may brave the winter there. But
yeah, that's entirely up to you.
So.
Yeah, Network Instruments was founded in 1994 on the concept of performance management. So organizations leverage our technology to be able to perform network performance management, application performance management, for monitoring and reporting, baselining, capacity planning, and also for problem solving, to be able to troubleshoot issues as they occur in their environment.
Fantastic. Now, I know you guys really did some interesting survey work, and I saw some results that I thought are worth discussing. Could you go into that a little bit, please?
Absolutely. Well, a lot of organizations have been talking to Network Instruments about emerging technologies. Unified communications and virtualization are two of the biggest technologies organizations are interested in taking advantage of. In some recent surveys that Network Instruments did with our 2009 State of the Network survey, we asked about 450 IT engineers and executives exactly what their biggest concern for emerging technologies were. And overwhelmingly, virtualization was the concerning technology that they had.
Sure.
A lot of organizations are implementing virtualization. About 75% of our respondents have virtualization in their environment. And so it's great to see people are adopting that technology and taking advantage of it. But the concerning thing is that a lot of these organizations don't have any visibility to it. There's a big visibility gap that exists.
Right. Sure. And I'm hearing that a lot from a lot of the companies, and virtualization is really a hot buzzword. And it seems to be very beneficial from a number of perspectives: better machine utilization, a green, lower energy costs. And so with that in mind, we now have opened up, like what happens in technology throughout the ages, as you add new sorts of products and new concepts, you open up new opportunities to solve the problems that are created by yet a slew of new technologies, and that's where your company has some products to help address this market, right?
Absolutely, we do. Because of that visibility gap that exists when you start to coexist application components within the same physical system, Network Instruments has recently released our virtual tap offering. Essentially, the virtual tap allows organizations to be able to access the information that's occurring within a virtual machine host.
Right.
So that when tiers of an application communicate, they have the ability to visualize into that and be able to see the performance of that, and also to be able to perform some capacity planning, baselining, and understand that communication better. One of the things that we've been finding is that organizations don't have a firm understanding of the virtual networking component. So Network Instruments has spent a lot of time putting together materials on our website at networkinstruments.com that talk to virtual monitoring and the challenges that organizations face and how to address those challenges.
That's great. Now, there's some other new things happening as well. Could you tell us a little bit about those areas?
There are. A lot of organizations are concerned about their mean time between failures, the amount of time that exists between technology failures in their organization. What we're finding is that organizations aren't experiencing network outages as much as they used to. It's really more degradation that occurs, and that degradation is extremely costly. So what organizations are interested in doing is performing what they call aggregate analysis, leveraging data sources like IPSLA and SNMP and NetFlow, and putting them all together so that when a problem occurs, you're not simply left hunting and pecking through all these technologies to try and find which technology could solve the problem, but rather you've got a single vantage point that lets you solve the problem more effectively than you've ever been able to before, while still taking advantage of all these technologies and all these perspectives. The average Network Instruments customer leverages over 10 different perspectives on their network to be able to understand the communication flow. But being able to combine all those perspectives is something that organizations have struggled with in the past. So Network Instruments is spending a lot of time with emerging technologies to be able to take advantage of all these perspectives and all these technologies to solve problems more quickly and prevent problems from happening, reducing that mean time to resolution and increasing your mean time between failure.
So what you're telling me is by taking various types of information from various systems and looking at them in aggregate, you are able to make better decisions about the health of your network?
Exactly right. That event correlation, being able to understand the impact that volume has on performance, for example, is something that organizations have inadvertently witnessed in the past, but now we're actually combining those different perspectives and showing them together so that organizations get a better understanding of the impact of change A and what it has on application B, if you will.
So for example, and just work with me here, if I have a peak usage of IP phones on the second floor on the east side of the second floor, and I start to notice that the access points are becoming overloaded with IP phones, and the quality of voice is degrading, something like that. And you could start to see that over time, and you could take preemptive action to replace access points or change around your topology to handle that.
Exactly right. Understanding the impact of that change in your environment and the negative connotation for that as it pertains to the performance of the application is something that organizations have always done very reactively in the past.
Sure. So you can actually say, okay, these are the kinds of things that you should watch out for.
Watch for these concerns so that we can perform capacity planning to understand when problems will occur, where they will occur, and doing some predictive analysis.
Sure. Now, in this economic environment, are you seeing any changes in the behavior of customers?
We are. We're seeing customers, as you might expect, being asked to do more with less. IT organizations are experiencing cuts in their budgets and so forth. And so being able to spend less time and less manpower solving problems is huge. And anything you can do to prevent problems obviously reduces the manpower spent on solving problems.
Now, if you can just give me, in closing, just what can companies expect from Network Instruments going forward?
Well, Network Instruments, as we move forward, is really interested in taking advantage of these new technologies, leveraging multiple perspectives, multiple technologies, and performing event correlation so that you can prevent problems from ever occurring. A lot of times organizations focus on problem solving. We want to focus on problem prevention.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being on the show.
Rich, I appreciate
your
your time.
newsroom. Yeah,
thanks for having us.